Do. Boom. And everything's back. Hello, 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 everyone. Sorry if I seem like glowing or something. I think I probably still need to mess with my. Hi, guys. Oh, hey, Oscar. I've seen you on live. I haven't had a chance to talk to you before. Hello, Oscar. Hi, guys. Sorry if I seem extra white. I don't feel like. Oh, yeah, I've scrolled through. Do you follow me? Oh, I got you. You can actually thank Law for that one, Oscar, because I think he was on your panel one day. Okay, sorry if I seem extra glowy. I haven't adjusted my settings. Also because, you know what? When I go live later in the afternoon and it's not set this way, like I seem darker. I seem a little orange, so I kind of just, I'm good with the white Law. Yeah, got you. Oh, Oscar, if you don't have a TikTok agent yet, you should message me. I am one. I would be Laws, but Law doesn't go live, so. And Law's pretty cool peeps. That's true. He doesn't go live often enough, he says. All right, guys, send in your daily heart me's if you are watching over on TikTok. Real quick, guys, over on, yeah, that's funny, no name, that's not how it works. On TikTok, I'm going to talk to TikTok for a second. So, guys, don't freak out. Hi, Priscilla. Y'all, if you are watching over on TikTok, what I need you to do is a couple of things to help engage with the live. First of all, send in your daily heart me. After that, send in your Go Popular. Then collect your points up at the top of the screen. If you, for some reason, you don't see an orange heart up at the top and you see the word follow, then hit that follow button first and then do all of the wonderful things. Remember that we have a like goal of, well, you know this, 50,000 likes every 30 minutes. So we should be at 100,000 likes at the top of the hour. I started up at 6. This means we should be at 100,000 likes at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, etc. onwards and up. So that's how you guys are the best way to gauge the live. Don't forget to hit that share button at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I will be keeping track of how many shares that you actually get out there. I don't have it up on my screen, but I do want to point out that I am still trying to fundraise to take care of Safari's upcoming vet visits because she's got one this week. We raised enough yesterday to pay for her pet visit on Thursday, but I have a $250 one that's coming due on the 29th. So every single day I am trying to do that. Just as a friendly reminder, I haven't put it up. I don't know if I have space to put it up on the screen just yet. And that's funny, Nicole. According to this, Tucker Carlson announced that he's leaving the Republican Party. I actually want to look that up. Anyways, TikTok, do all of the wonderful things. We should already have more daily heart me's coming on in. But let's get this rolling. Do I not have this? Oh, that's right. I took it off the screen. Hold on. We'll put this up. Oh my God, Lynatti. Thank you. I'm so sorry. You right. I missed something. Lynatti. And then I just opened up the wrong thing. I got you, Lynatti. They're not open yet. I'm gonna fix that. And this goes through here. Connect. You're not late. I'm late. Okay, we're good now, Lynatti. We are good now. And
Holland Studio web interface.
Awesome. But be sure to send your daily heart me's in over on TikTok. Again, I'll keep reminding all of that every single day. I know several of you might be coming in from watching other creators. I am glad that you choose your time to be with me. I am one of the people that you choose to watch. Much, much, much appreciated. I appreciate you guys so much. And of course, don't forget to check out all of the other amazing creators that get up on this app every single day. We do, Joseph, need an equal rights amendment. I do 100% agree with you there. The ERA should have passed, but everybody took too damn long. You know what I mean? Like everyone, all the states took too long to get it done. when are we getting rid of Trump? I don't know when. I mean, in theory, he won't be gone from office until, January 20th, 2029. If he leaves this time, you know what I mean? If he actually leaves, that is, we won't have that. Otherwise, that's all it is. It just has to come through at that time naturally. He leaves office when his term is over. And that's all we can hope for. Hi, Lynatti. Good to see you in there. Oh, I know, Jay. Thank you. I appreciate that. And honesty in office for all the office law for all elected officials and such. I don't also need an honesty in office law. Oh, I get it. Okay. I had to read that twice. I do apologize. I don't know why I read it wrong the first time. Oh, I know, Ryu. I'm just not gonna say that. Hello to all of my subs that were in here first, or sorry, members over on YouTube that were already in here. And guys, we're just gonna get this through. I'm so sorry I hurt your feelings, Donald. So sorry I hurt your fifis. I can't help you with that one. All right, let's see. We have this. There we go. That's up over there. And and there. Okay. I just don't have Safari's picture up yet, but we have this going. So, what was the statement, Moose? Yeah, I agree. Stuffed. But it's unlikely that an impeachment will go through because that does require a super majority vote in Congress, in the Senate specifically. So to be exact, it would require 67 votes in the Senate in order to impeach a president, which is why it has never occurred. J.D. Vance is not going to invoke the 25th Amendment, and that's just how that's going to go. Well, Ted, if you want me to hurt your fifis anytime, then what I will tell you is if you hit that dislike button, I'll be no, I'm kidding. Hit that thumbs up, all right? Hit that thumbs up so that I'm not disappointed in you, you know? I'd rather not be disappointed in you. You know what, Simone? Or Simon, sorry, I probably read that wrong. Simon, I hope the USA wins the World Cup, and I would never take that away from our athletes because they do an amazing job. Messi's already made World Cup history, and I think that's awesome. But yeah, no, I think that the United States soccer team deserves to win whatever, they deserve based on their own merit. You know what I mean? That's what I think. If they win it. Congratulations. Keo, thank you so much for the 1,000 jewels for the GOAT trophy. That is a funny gift. Every time I see it, I will be honest, that is a funny gift. The Tucker Carlson thing is true. I need to find that. DV8, thank you also for the jewels. I appreciate that as well. Exactly. That's the best part, right? Thank you for the reminder, Casey. Is that the majority of the USA soccer team, they're immigrants. Uh-oh. And if I remember correctly, y'all can tell me this if I'm wrong, but Messi is from France. If I remember correctly. Eld. I don't know how to say your name. That's funny. That's so funny. Whoa. I need to make sure that sound is just turned off. It's so crazy. Okay. All right. We do already have some callers in line.
You're awesome.
Circuit, thank you so much for the 10. Says keep it up, keep at it, mermaid. Well, I do plan to, so thank you so much for your support. I appreciate that. Oh, it's Argentina. Thanks, guys. See, I'd prefer that to be corrected. Messi is from Argentina. That's awesome. Hey, listen, I didn't say that I know sports, okay? Oh, you can't? Is it cut off? Oh, because here, I'll fix it real quick. Lenati. And that should put it back on screen. Let me know if it doesn't. Otherwise, I'll move it over just a little bit. Also, it's cutting off this word, so I'm gonna go down a little bit. That's so loud. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the moderators being awesome. Okay. Hi, Kay. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Doing well. And just for TikTok terms of service, how old are you?
28 years old, ma'am.
Okay. And are you saying that you do support Donald Trump, or are you just trying to play devil's advocate?
Um, okay. I guess I'm a little down the middle because I am conservative, but it sucks because I'm
Okay.
fiscally conservative, but I feel like most conservatives today, it's all the culture war stuff. And disclaimer, I don't buy into any of that. If you're, like, I completely understand my party's basically been inundated and taken over by a lot of the culture war stuff, and whenever I hear that stuff, I roll my eyes. It has nothing to do with me. It doesn't matter to the average American, honestly, as far as I'm concerned. But I think what I like about the conservatives and Republicans, they align more with my values, which is a whole other conversation. But Donald Trump does, I get, honestly, I guess this is one of the first times I'm saying this out loud, but as I say it, it sounds kind of accelerationist. But the thing is, he makes people do things. Like, I feel like a lot of Washington is, what's the word? When it's just bureaucracy, but no one actually does anything. What's the word? I can't remember it. Apathetic. I just feel like
Mm,
Trump has pushed things in a direction that may not necessarily be always good, but at least he gets politicians, I guess in a crude way, off their ass and actually doing something. And I feel like Biden, yeah, I like Biden. He passed a lot of legislation. It might be not stuff I agreed with, but he did stuff. And I feel like a lot of Democrats are just so spineless that I can't see myself supporting them. Like, even with the most basic of issues, it takes their almost their entire party screaming at them for them to do anything. And for the Republicans, at least they're responsive. It sucks that they're mostly responsive to culture war stuff, but at least they do something. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm still conservative, I'm still Republican, but I'm trying to find any reason to push myself to, hey, let me vote for a Democrat. But I just can't see it, basically.
what's one thing that concerns you the most?
My biggest concern right now would be energy. And I just feel like no one's really taken a big stance on it. I mean, the Republicans are just drill, baby, drill. Let's just get, shoot, I shouldn't have said that. I'm not talking points. Republicans are like oil, oil, oil. Let's just stick to oil. And then the Democrats are like basically the same way with a little bit of green energy, but they don't even take a stance on that. They back off anytime they start doing anything. But like, I just feel like at the end of the day, energy is going to be our biggest problem, and no one's really dealing with that. It just feels like an endless cycle of we're gonna do oil, we're gonna do oil, and then the Democrats sometimes are want to diversify, but then they back off immediately.
They want to diversify what?
Their energy production, like they'll invest in green energy, and no one's really talking about nuclear. But I just feel like every time they try that, it's like it's in a spineless way. Like they'll push a little forward, but then they'll stop as soon as they get pushed back. I don't know. I've never been on it. I guess that it's really hard for me to put my thoughts together, but
So,
I'm done talking. Go ahead. You have the floor.
so are Democrats immune to criticism, or do they fold under critique?
They fold under critique fast.
Ah.
That's
Okay.
I like the Democrats
Interesting.
that I guess I would say I like the Democrats that stand up for themselves and like I guess act more like Trump in a way because I feel like they constantly fold. Like I like Kamala Harris, but I think the thing with me, she just seems so open to doing anything to get into office, and I really didn't like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not here to rehash the 2024 election. That means nothing to me.
Okay, no, didn't mean to bring it up. Okay, I guess are you a Democrat? I'm not sure.
No.
Um, are you a socialist?
No.
I guess it really doesn't matter. What? Okay, why? What would you say the biggest problem is Trump is doing today? Like, what's his biggest? What's the worst thing he's doing?
Violating articles and amendments of the United States Constitution.
I doesn't every president do that in one way or another?
Not to the degree that it occurs right now.
I mean, that's a fair point. But I mean, but he's the president. Don't they have the right to just try to do things? Isn't that the whole point of the court system? Like he tries it, he loses, he backs off.
No.
No,
The duty of the president is literally to uphold the Constitution. Actually, that's the duty of any elected official. That's Article 6 of the United States Constitution. It's their oath of office, is to uphold the Constitution, not try to pressure it to see what points they can bend or rip or break or change. Like it's the executive branch is literally there to uphold and enforce the laws. And he is the
that is a
executive
fair
branch of
point.
government.
Hmm, that's a fair point. All right. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm just really more confused than anything, but I guess I didn't organize my thoughts well for this, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. I appreciate what you said. I'll look more into it. I feel like I just have to dive more into politics.
Okay. Not a problem, man.
All right. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Hey, Stan, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? All right, how you doing?
Doing well. You just wanted to add a couple of thoughts, or at
Yes,
least
yes.
one main one. Cool.
Uh, uh, are we on the air or?
We are, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, this is the first time on your show. But yeah, I mean, I really, enjoy, you know, really what the watermelon selling got arrested for. Trump 2024, and yeah, you're stupid.
Okay. Oh, you hung up yourself? Dude, I tuned you out because you do whatever you want. Like, cool beans. I just that's the best insult you have is you're stupid. I mean, I guess that's better than some of the other ones where they're just like, "Oh, four eyes," because they really think that's a great insult. Um, so yeah, he got me good, guys. He got me so good by calling me stupid. Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. Guys, real quick, PSA, if you are watching over on TikTok, we are behind on the likes. I know you guys can do a lot better on the likes. I've seen you do it in other lives. In fact, I saw you guys do it this morning. So, yes, excuse me for just being a little bit annoyed that you're not doing it for me today. So, we're going to get this little progress bar started so you guys can be fussed at and make sure you are getting the likes up. I don't know what y'all are doing. You guys used to do so much better. Be sure to share out the live. We only have 22 shares over on TikTok. I've been on for 20 minutes. That should have already been up to, guess what? Should have already been up to 50. So here we go. We've got the progress bar. We're going to put that right over here. Oh, somewhat. This requires special care. There we go. Make sure you're tippy tapping the screen. Let's get it going. All right. We do have a couple of calls screening, so we'll let those get screened. And guys, again, I'll remind you, let's focus on lighting up the gift gallery. It's been about 3 weeks since my gift gallery has been fully lit up, so I want to go ahead and get that taken care of. I've seen you guys light up someone's full gift gallery on a Monday. I know you can do it for me. So we got this. I know we do. All right. Let's rock and roll this thing. But while we are waiting for calls, this kind of goes in line. Let's see if I can find my right video that I want to go over. Is it this one? No. Oh, this goes in line with somebody's comment in the YouTube chat, which I thought was funny. So we're going to put this up. Let's make sure this is paused. Somebody, of course, in YouTube said, and of course, very, very apt that this gets said. They love saying it all the time. Obama was the most divisive president in history. And you guys know, I love Isaiah Martin. He's a very smart man. Let's listen to what he said on CNN.
In the Oval Office, it's much more polarized. It's been had quite a lot of woke and other influences that I don't think that Barack Obama was a woke president. That wasn't even a thing when he was.
But look, here's the thing. I get that you might get it, but I'm really just really focused on this. When you say that President Obama is one of the most divisive presidents in history, that's something that you guys can never back up. You never can bring up any substance. It's a talking point that you guys always say. So to Abby's point, what specifically are you referring to when you say he's one of the most divisive presidents in history?
He did not invite Milli Vanilli to the library party today, or Vanilla Ice, or CNC Music Factory. That's a difference from the American 250.
Right.
That
Didn't
is a
have
big
that on
difference
my
from the
bingo
American
card
250.
for sure.
That is very true. Next.
They can't even take their own question, like their own response to their criticism of Obama seriously. They can't answer a direct question seriously. I thought that was funny. So, like, please, to the silly Willy MAGAs and my comment section on YouTube, please effectuate for me. Give specific details. How on earth, please, okay? How on earth was Obama the most divisive president in history? Please, I need you to explain this to me. All right? That's what I need you to do. Explain it to me. Give as much details as possible. Don't leave anything out. And I know you guys are only bringing up Obama because the Obama Center just opened last week. And you guys want to have this whole conversation just days, right? Days after it opened and days after Juneteenth. Yeah, y'all are doing great. There we go. All right, brought that back up. It was the dang tan suit. That is also true. It was the tan suit. Guys, also, if you are new here and you haven't already hit that follow or that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that now. We do have memberships, super chat, super fans, bits, subscriptions, all available across all of the platforms. Yeah, let's go. Oh, okay, looks like nobody made it through the screening. That's perfectly fine. I've got some lineups for you here. So, do you guys want to see Fox News just absolutely try to cope with what happened with the MOU? Which I've gone briefly over, not fully, not in totality on my live, but I've gone briefly over the MOU. Before I start playing this, if you are watching on TikTok, be sure to hit that repost option and share it to your story because TikTok doesn't like it when I play videos. So we're trying here. So, but the absolute level of copium. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I don't remember what I'm trying to say. Copium that is occurring on Fox News is hilarious and a cherry on top. So let's put them on screen.
Yeah, Iran lost the war. They surrendered, and now they're letting the United States and the UN in to look at their sites and their uranium, and then
Oh, you mean what was already occurring with the JCPOA? Well, all of a sudden they're just now letting the IAEA inspect sites. Wait, you mean the same thing that occurred in the JCPOA? Oh, okay.
they're going to destroy it. Do I need to keep talking? I mean, that sounds pretty good. Very funny. But Dana's right. If they do say at the end of 60 days, go F yourself, all the uranium's buried. They can't touch it. So does it even really matter?
Oh, wait, now the uranium doesn't even matter, guys. It doesn't even matter. It's buried. So in that reminder, okay? Reminder, this was buried June of 2025. It's useless, right? Jesse Waters himself right now is saying that it was useless they can't use the uranium. All right.
And so now you have people coming out like what? Booker and Rice. We don't take them seriously. They're buffoons. We only put their sound bites in the segment for friction. The nuke program is destroyed. The military, 85%.
The nuclear program was destroyed last year.
Destroyed and the Straits open. Greg's gone out there.
The Strait's not currently open again. That's why they're supposedly talking in Switzerland right now, because it was closed again because Israel violated the MOU.
Peacefully.
Yes.
He hasn't been attacked. Iran's bluffed their way the last 10 days. There's been no tankers that have been attacked. We're actually going to wrap this up hopefully pretty soon, and we can move on to Cuba.
Yeah, move on to Cuba, guys. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah, let's just move on to our next conquest. Oh man, it's so insane. And I see all of them crying in my TikTok chat right now, which is hilarious that none of y'all ever have the cojones to call in. Just pointing that, especially TikTokers, y'all never have the cojones to call in. And it is hilarious how you guys never do. But we do have DeAndre in Arizona, so we'll bring him on up. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. And just for TikTok terms of service, how old are you?
26.
26. And you're still supporting Donald Trump?
On certain issues, I'm not, an avid supporter no matter what. Actually, the whole Iran thing, I agree with you a lot. I think the selling of this deal, it comes with many concessions. I never supported it from the beginning, and ultimately, don't like the move and feel like he committed something completely different, not starting new wars.
Yeah, he did campaign on no new wars. That is true.
Yeah, I don't like that, That was one thing he was touting before, 50 years or whatever of no in his first administration. But, don't want to be engaged in foreign affairs. And I think in particular with Israel, there's many negative layers that come with it too. There's ultimately putting America first and our problems in focus is a key component that I want to see. And he's not delivered on that. Affordability and cost of living has not improved in the ways that he said. And I get that there's multiple layers with that, but certain things I agree with him on, other things I don't.
Okay. What's he done so far to earn your continued support?
This administration's been a little bit different. There's been some things that I haven't loved, and ultimately it's his final term, so that's somewhat irrelevant moving into the future. That's more my concern with who fills that void, and trying to get as much as we've been committed done as possible for the time being.
Okay, but so you don't still support him because he hasn't done anything, from what I'm hearing?
No, I do. Ultimately, I want, even when Biden was president, I would want him to do what's best for things, but that's kind of the position we're in now, because whether or not you support him, he will be the president for the next few years.
Okay, so do you support him?
On certain things, yes. On certain things, no.
Okay,
I
so
think that's the way we should approach anything.
what specifically has he done that has earned your continued support for him?
I think shutting down the illegal crossings at the border, I don't think deportations have been at the level that I'd like to see. So again, support the initiative, how it's going about getting done. That's a different measure.
Gotcha. How did he shut down the border?
Not sure, other than manpower and logistical controls, but crossings have almost gone to a non-existent point. So illegal
Do you know
crossings.
where I can find any statistics on crossings? That's not a news, media, or press release.
No, it's probably within DHS somewhere. I can't cite anything in particular.
Gotcha. Would it surprise you to
But that's
learn
been the
that we don't
reporting.
keep track of? No, it hasn't been reporting. Reporting would be releasing the statistics and the data.
Okay.
It's just been the administration telling you that they've had a 97% reduction in border crossings, while ignoring the fact that nowhere on DHS, ICE, or cbp.gov do we actually keep track of border crossings.
Well, they previously had shown the number of people coming in under the Biden administration. I don't
Those
think there's
are
been as much focus on
encounters.
those numbers.
Nope, those are encounters. Encounters do not
Okay.
equal crossings.
Well, whatever the, I think, how is the encounter taking place? Because they're crossing the border, likely?
No,
I think that could be
an encounter
insinuated. No?
can occur from many different things, right? So it could be you walking up to a border agent, and because there are three things that make up an encounter, right? Apprehensions, inadmissibles, and expulsions. Expulsions mostly apply to Title 42, which is no longer in effect and hasn't been in effect since May 11th of 2023 when it comes to the border. So we're just looking at apprehensions and inadmissibles, right? So inadmissible means that you're not approved to enter into the United States of America. So they got turned around, said nah. And then the apprehensions would be people that were caught attempting to cross through the border at a non-port of entry. So there are two parts.
Okay. Well, and I find, often people go down these technical wormholes of what are we actually talking about? To generalize, stopping illegal immigration and obviously setting controls for legal immigration, I think that's far too vast for what our country currently needs. But that's more in line with my beliefs than Biden would have been, or Kamala.
Okay, well, sorry. The reason I go down this line is because it is important to know the difference on what you're talking about or what you're attempting to talk about. And this is just how the statistical data works in this case.
Well, Biden wanted people coming across the border. It was at rates
When did he say
that
that?
were unprecedented.
When did he say that he wanted people to cross the border?
They say it when Democrats generally are talking about providing resources and government assistance to those, albeit seemingly legally or illegally, but grant them this temporary status that suddenly makes them legal.
TPS
And
is decided
basically
on by the
endorsing
Department
that.
of Homeland Security, and it's based off a numerous number of factors, and it's only granted to countries that are deemed non-safe to return to. And that happens all the time with different countries, and the status changes on them periodically quite often when it comes to TPS. But to be clear, TPS is a legal status that people can have as far as being lawfully present within the United States.
Yeah, and if you're in control and your administration is more flexible on that, then what that interpretation actually is can somewhat be elastic. So that's all I'm trying to say. So again, I just want to avoid getting in the technical terms of illegal or legal immigration. I think immigration as a whole should be controlled and limited, especially the illegal type.
Okay, the way you do
So
that is
Trump
by
is more in
changing the
line
law.
with that
No, he hasn't changed
than
any
Biden
laws.
would be.
He hasn't changed any laws. The only way you stop that is by
Well, as
changing the
far as
laws.
the
And to be
projection
clear,
and the
and
way
to
they're
be
talking
clear,
about it,
and to
again,
be
he hasn't
clear, and
delivered
to
on
be
everything.
clear, and to be clear, and to be clear, there is no way to stop illegal immigration because by the statement of it, they are doing it by breaking the laws. There will always be somebody that slips through the cracks. I think that's a silly thought to think that they somehow stopped it all. That's Donald Trump just saying
I'm
that,
not.
but there's no proof
Yeah.
of it, right?
Yeah, and again, knowing what the changes in the system have been as far as people that they're catching and apprehending, I'm not naive enough to think that that's stopping altogether. So ultimately preventing it, and at least the deportations currently aren't at the levels I'd like to see them at, but at least being vocal and emphasizing that that's a focus, I think is important, or at least more aligned than a Democrat would.
Okay. So, how much does it cost to deport an immigrant? Do you know? Since you are in support of mass deportations,
Yeah, tens
what is
of
the cost?
thousands of dollars. I know it's quite
Tens of
expensive.
thousands of dollars. Yeah, on average, it actually costs about $78,000 per person
Yeah.
to deport them. And that's because
Yeah.
really right now what we're experiencing is a mass detainment problem, not actually a deportation issue.
Well, what you don't account for is the draining of resources and expenses that immigrants largely have on a society,
Like what?
especially
Be
when you're
specific.
importing them from
Like
a
what?
third world country.
For what? Hey, dude, we don't import people. That's gross. We haven't done that since the
Yeah.
transatlantic slave trade. So that's gross. Don't ever say those words. That's disgusting.
So
All right?
why are 80%
So,
of H-1Bs from India?
prove that for one, and that's because people
They
apply to
are.
jobs.
The data is available.
Sir, they apply
is.
to a job. That's not importing people. That they applied to a job, they interviewed, and they were hired. Okay, that's them
And they're
applying to
also
a job.
undercutting. So this is a liberal perspective. They're undercutting people's wages.
Prove it, and that's
also
not a
being
liberal
leveraged.
perspective. You're still not
They're
like
being
prove
leveraged
it.
by the companies.
DeAndre,
Prove it.
yes.
Okay,
Provide a
assume what
source.
I'm saying
Provide
is right.
no, I'm not
How
doing
would you
that.
feel
Provide a
about that?
source. Provide a source. Provide a source. Go look it
Well,
up.
go down a logic
Your
trail
phone. No,
with
no,
me.
no,
Just
no. I'm not doing
follow
that.
along.
I'm not
Good-
doing that. The
yeah,
answer is no. This is
good faith
consent.
conversation.
You are not engaging in good faith right now when you are refusing to back
Absolutely.
up any point. Sir, we've been on the phone for 10 minutes and you haven't proven any single thing that you've said, and I'm no longer
pull
holding.
Pull up H-1Bs by country. I can't cite the source, but I'm sure.
No, I'm asking you to
it's
prove that they
publicly
undercut
available.
wages. I'm asking you to prove that they undercut wages.
I can't cite anything in particular, but in theory,
Okay,
if you're
so you just lied. Got it.
exporting jobs to other countries, so
They're not
jobs that are being
exporting
sent
jobs to other
overseas.
countries. Like, that's not how that
they
works.
absolutely have call centers and
No, that's
absolutely a
not
real thing.
exporting jobs. That's companies choosing
Absolutely.
to make jobs available
Outsourcing.
outside of the United States. Yeah, but that's not
Yeah,
exporting
outsourcing
jobs.
for a lower
That's not
cost because they
exporting.
know that the financial requirements in India are far less
Cool.
than
Change
what
the
you
laws.
could have to
Change
pay.
the laws. How is Donald Trump
So
changing
it's
those
not
laws?
happening. Why wouldn't
How
it work
is
both
Donald
ways?
Trump? How is Donald Trump changing those laws? Let's try that. Where's the
He's
legislation
not,
that's been in?
and that's why I
Oh,
take issue with it.
gotcha.
Again, absolutely.
Okay.
He's started to focus more on the
Hey, where's
H-1B
your
issue,
family
but
from, DeAndre?
what's that?
Where is your family from?
Michigan.
Michigan. Where's your ancestry from?
It's mixed, actually. But
Cool. Give a few.
ultimately, I don't see how that's relevant.
I mean, it is. If you're going to be hateful towards
Why?
immigrants, I want to know where your family's from.
I'm
Like,
not.
how many generations removed are you from your family moving to the United States?
Well, I think people that have been here for,
How many generations removed are you from your family coming to the United States?
I don't know, several.
You
I
don't
don't know
know?
exactly. No, I don't see how that's relevant. I'm here. I'm an American. I want to support America.
Why are you
I
American?
think there is
What
a
made you
natural,
American?
because I've lived here all my life. My
Oh, wow.
family
So
for
has DACA.
generations have lived here, have
Oh,
developed,
wow.
have paid
Oh,
into the
they've developed.
system.
Oh, wow. So do immigrants. They pay taxes. So what makes you American? I'm not
Yeah.
hearing anything that makes you specifically American yet.
Absolutely. It's
Pay
not,
taxes.
America
Immigrants
is
pay
not an
taxes.
economic zone. It's about
DACA
assimilating and
recipients have been here
requiring
their
certain
entire
things
life.
to
First
assimilate. People that
generation
want to
immigrants
assimilate.
were born in the United States. Assimilation, sorry,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
is no requirement
Immigrants
within the
now don't
Constitution.
assimilate.
There is no requirement within the Constitution or any law that's been passed by Congress that requires immigrants to assimilate.
Yeah, because there weren't immigrants when all that was developed.
There
have
have
to
been immigrants in this
modernize.
country from the day one. Literally, from July 6,
Well,
1776,
not
there
in
have
the
been
sense
immigrants.
multinational all
Nope.
across the world.
Yep, they
Yeah,
still
you
were
had English and
all
Dutch
across
and
the
German and
world. Yeah, English, Dutch, German, France, Spanish. Like
yeah. What's
Spaniards
the
were here.
the commonality there?
Hungary, Austria, all of them came here. They were from all over. We had people from Africa here in the United States. We had people
Oh
from
yeah,
China
tons
here
of
in the
Africans
United
that
States.
went.
Yeah. Sir, we were from everywhere. They were all immigrants,
Well,
and they've all been immigrants that
the
have come into the
demographic
United
shift.
States. What are they
When the
assimilating
country
to?
was founded,
What are
was
they assimilating
99%
to?
white, Eastern.
Hey,
Huh?
Pookie! What
I
are
don't
they
know why you have
assimilating
to
to?
try to steamroll me, and why are you so frantic and
You are the one that's steamrolling. You
yelling?
shouldn't use words that you don't know because you've been talking over me about every 5 words. I can barely get out an entire full sentence before you interrupt me. So I'm just actually returning your energy. So what exactly are they required to assimilate to?
Being American, assimilating it within a community, and it's not a hard line, but ultimately no desire whatsoever of having a loyalty to another country. Like, that's not what it's about.
We have people in Congress that are dual citizens that are Republicans. So I really dual citizenship
Yeah,
has
I don't
always been
think
a
that you
thing.
should be able to have that.
Oh, well,
Again,
sucks to
I'm
be
not
you.
talking in what's currently on the books, but
Oh, sucks to suck.
Okay, well, ultimately, I just feel, rather than getting stuck on Trump, liberalism, the Democratic Party, is a failure, and I previously was
So is the
a
Republican
Democrat.
Party.
And
You say that you're fiscally conservative, but every single Republican president has always increased the national debt. So you
I
you're
don't like
automatically
that. I
shushies.
don't want that. I
Shushies.
don't want that.
Shushy. Okay, I'm done with your interruptions. Okay. Your yapology is annoying, so you're gonna be on mute for a second while you just listen, okay? Every single Republican in the modern age has increased our national debt, right? We can just say since the 90s, okay? And see, if you were truly a fiscal conservative, it's only been the Democratic Party in the last 36 years that has ever left office with a surplus. Wow. It's almost like you don't know history. So, and I'm gonna read this since I had somebody that was like, "Oh, she doesn't read YouTube comments." Yeah, my YouTube chat goes a lot faster than any of my other chats. So if you want me to see and read your YouTube comment, you do need to send a super chat to guarantee. But I'll explain this. Yeah, because he's been cutting me off since he got on the line. And I'm pretty sure I've spoken to him before. He sounds familiar at this point. So yeah, I'm allowed to feel how I want. And at that point, I'm matching his energy. Do you see how that works? Yeah, but you guys never call out the men for the deplorable stuff that they say on the phone, right? Like, he can't define what's American. He can't define what culture or what somebody has to assimilate to in the United States. So none of this is how that works, right? And that's so I would love for you to actually define something for once in your life instead of just being like, but the Democrats and throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. Oh, see, and we'll point out this one. Women's opinions don't matter. Okay, well, scroll on. Neither do yours. Especially not here. Boop. Bye-bye. Toodles. Anyway. Have you figured out yet what makes you American, or can you define what American culture is that immigrants are required in your books to assimilate to?
Yeah, contributing to the system.
Oh, cool. They do that by
I
paying
think that's a good
taxes.
way to summarize it.
Congratulations. Yeah, they do that. They pay
No.
taxes. They're contributing, guys. That's all it takes to be American is by contributing to the system by paying taxes. They're doing that. We figured it out. That's it.
It's not that simple. They take more out of the system than they put into it with
Prove
any
it.
taxes that
I would love for you to prove that. Cite a
You want to
source.
dispute that? Exactly. Yeah.
Cite a
avoid it.
source.
But that's the reality.
Cite a source.
Again, we don't have
No,
to get
actually,
into the weeds.
I'll help you out with this. Do you
No, we
do you
don't have to
like
get
libertarians?
into the
Do you
weeds
like
again.
libertarians? Do you like libertarians?
No, they're weak.
Oh, well, you're also weak. Considering that the only fiscal conservative that is in Congress right now is Rand Paul, who is a libertarian that just ran as a Republican because third-party candidates don't make it anywhere. So there's this pretty cool Cato Institute, right? And what they did, they ran a study, right? That shows that over the last 32 years, immigrants have reduced our national deficit by $14.5 trillion. And the best part is they provide extensive research into this. Everything that they have is clickable, so you can double check their work. They wrote a whole paper on it. They say them going rather than a 1-year snapshot. So if you actually cared about reducing the deficit, you would, in fact, be okay with immigration and immigrants staying within the United States. Cato is also right-leaning. Again, they are libertarian, which is supposedly right-leaning. But see, the other thing I wanted to bring up, and I'll go ahead and grab this real quick. And I should have had this on another one, but where is the at? What happens when I have too many? Oh, here we go. The Penn Wharton budget model, which I'm sure you don't like models, where they actually looked at the cost of mass deportation of unauthorized immigrants, physical and economic effects, where they found in their comprehensive study as well shows that on average, the cost to deport a singular person is about $78,000. So what you're actually doing, your fiscal conservatism, is actually saying that you don't care about the deficit. You don't care about how much money we owe because you want to deport the people that are actually lowering our national debt. Right? Yeah, and for the person that says illegal immigrants, yeah, that's what this is. This one specifically is about the unauthorized immigrant population. So people that are no longer allowed to be here. Okay? And it goes into all of the data, breaks it down. It even gives you guys a bunch of charts that makes it a little bit easier to read. But your fiscal conservatism is a joke. Yeah, I would run away too, DeAndre. I know. Because you actually don't understand it. And see, even deporting them, it doesn't help the wages either. It really doesn't. They break it all down. And they do a great job. So between Cato and the Penn Wharton budget model, you should look at that. I know you won't, right? I know you won't because you guys never do. And they are not deporting the worst of the worst. That is true. They are not. I'm literally saying that, guys. I'm sorry. I'm saying fiscal. Physical. Fiscal. You're not. Are you okay? The number doesn't work because there's already, well, the number works now. I had the max number of callers. There you go. But we have Josh on the line. Hi, Josh. Are you there?
You can't tell me nigger, 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 nigger.
Have a great rest of your life, man. We have Todd in Pennsylvania. Hi, Todd. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. How old are you for terms of service?
I'm 29.
29. Okay. And you are still supporting Donald Trump?
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That guy waited 30 minutes to slur out. That's funny. I guess we'll see how long it lasts for anyone else. Okay. And what's he done so far to earn your continued support?
So, I mean, I'm not saying that Trump is going to be the best person ever, because he's definitely not, but he is at least putting forward some policies that actually need action upon, like immigration in our system,
Cool.
as
What
well
policy
as
has he passed
our
about
foreign
immigration?
presence overseas.
Cool. What actions has he taken on immigration?
Well, I think first and foremost, when Biden re-implemented catch and release and Trump ending that almost immediately on day one, I
Can
think that was a
you?
great thing to do.
Okay, great. What is catch and release? Describe it to me like I'm
So,
5.
okay. So when an immigrant or somebody not of this country comes into the country through any one of the various borders and entry ports, they are apprehended by border security, given a court date, and then released. Now, oftentimes, due because of backups and timing, those court dates can take anywhere from 6 months to 5 or 6 years before they're, supposed to appear
Yeah.
before court.
Are you aware that it's currently legal precedent that people cannot be detained for more than
That
180 days? It's specifically immigrants cannot be detained for more than 180 days.
Well, yes, they're not being detained. They're being
Right.
processed and then released.
Correct. Because they're following the
So what
existing
does that have
case
to do with
law.
being detained?
Well, you're saying that you want people to be held while they're awaiting
I
their
don't want
court
people to
date.
be held. No.
Then why are you in
I
support of
want them to
ending
be
catch and
sent back
release?
and have to send in an application to be processed like everybody else.
Based off of which law?
Well, the visa applicants. So, for example, I used to be a
Well, no,
foreigner.
I know what visa applicants are. That's cool. But which law are you saying they need to apply for?
What law do they need to apply for? What
Maybe
what
hold
are you
on.
referring
What
to?
legal status are you having an issue with that you think they need to apply for before entering the United States?
Well, either asylum status
What
or
law is asylum?
we don't have a law based on asylum.
We do actually. So you don't know it?
Okay, I don't know. I at least know what the technicalities of it are.
The technicalities? No, there's
Correct.
just
So you have
actually
to
a
jump
law.
through a certain type of hoop to be able to be granted asylum. For example, if
Correct.
you're
So
coming
there's a
from
law. In order for, sorry, sir, in order for there to be hoops for people to jump through, there has to be an existing law, right? So and you just said that we don't have laws for asylum. So how would there be circumstances that they have to meet or criteria that they have to meet if there's not a law governing it?
because Congress has to has to.
Oh, your MAGA Wi-Fi is doing you great. Which is actually funny that you mentioned Congress, because I'm pulling this directly from house.gov, where they cite our U.S. codes. And wouldn't you know it, we actually do have a law covering asylum.
Okay,
Interesting.
but this is semantics. Like, you're
It's
not
not.
advocating
Wait,
whether or
wait.
not
Hold
my
on.
belief is right.
Because you don't even know what the law is. Your automatic belief,
It doesn't matter.
your
Should
no, it
people
does.
come
It
into the
does.
United
It does
States
matter.
illegally or not?
Sir, it does matter because the law
Should they
exists.
come in
No,
illegally
sir.
or not?
Sir, it does matter. The
It's
law
just a
is
question.
important. No, because I'm
The law is
you're not even
important.
your premise to start with is incorrect, and I am not here to debate your feelings on the subject matter. You didn't even realize that there was a law that was governing asylum. So I will happily explain that to you because there is a law that governs asylum. And I'll go ahead and even give
Does
you the
that
code so
reflect
you
the
can
original
look it up
question?
later on your own time. But for everyone else, it's
Does
on the
that
screen
affect
right
the
now.
original
It's
question?
8 US Code 1158. And see, the first criteria and why they can't apply ahead of time is that the very first criteria in order to apply for asylum, any alien who is physically present in the United States or who arrives in the United States, whether or not at a designated port of arrival, and including an alien who is brought to the United States after having been interdicted in international or United States waters, irrespective of such alien status, may apply for asylum in accordance with this section or, where applicable, section 1225B of this title. You specifically have to, guess what? You can only apply for asylum once you enter the United States of America. You
That's not
can't do it
true
beforehand. That's
whatsoever.
literally in the law and the legislation
How do
from when it was
other
passed,
people in
when it's
other
been
countries
updated, and
apply for
everything like that,
asylum
right?
and then wait
So
on
that
waiting
you're
periods before coming
automatically
to the United
wrong.
States?
So if you're advocating for changing the
So I
law,
can
that's a
tell you've never
conversation
been
that I will
outside the country
happily have
before.
with you. But the fact is, asylum is a legal process, and the very first step within this legal process is to be on American soil for claiming
I
asylum.
applied for asylum in South
Listen,
Africa.
dude, I'm going to help you out with something. When you
In
were
South
screaming and you were
Africa. I was
constantly trying to
in
talk over me,
South
I
Africa.
tune you
You don't
out.
know
Whatever
anything.
diatribe you're going into right now, I can't hear because I'm literally trying to talk and explain something to you that you
It's
admitted
just you
to
just
having
don't
zero
understand
knowledge
anything.
on.
It's low
But from what
IQ.
I
That's
hear
all it
you're
is.
saying, apparently according to the people in the comments, because they can hear you, right?
I'm
Is
sure. But
guess what? You're talking about refugee status. Refugee status is different from asylum. It has different criteria, right? And I'm sure you don't know any of the criteria for that either. So, again, what did I say about asylum? Oh, he ran away. Okay. Let's see. Someone said that's not true while she's reading the actual law. God, if you don't like the law, don't blame her. Speak with your local member of Congress. That's what I'm saying, right? Is I'm saying, like, if you want to argue about a certain type of legal status when you're an immigrant, then we are arguing the law and changing the law. And yes, Crow, he ran away. That's how that works. Also, guys, I'm gonna, yeah, they don't know anything except their big feelings that they have. I'm gonna point this out. I don't normally harp on this, but we have been live for over an hour and the live goal has not been touched even once. Give me 1 second. Okay, I come back. All right. Oh, were they yelling about someone else's asylum loss? That's not how that works. Yeah. Hi, guys. And just a friendly reminder again, guys, you guys can send super chats. That is the best way for me to see your comments. And if you are new here, hit that follow or that subscribe button. The funniest part I find with the whole healthcare and immigrants thing is that it would literally cost more for them to not get care and die, and you have to pay for their funeral expenses. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so he apparently described asylum, but said we don't have asylum laws, and then talked about South Africa. Yeah, that's refugee. So, Thank you, Dre. Or, yeah, Dre for the 2. First time watcher, but love how you keep them on point and correct. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. We do have Ryder in Washington.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, no problem. And just for TikTok terms of service, how old are you?
53.
53. And are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly? What's he done so far to earn your continued support?
He's let us down. He's let us down with Epstein and the UFOs for sure. But actually, I want to harken back to the last call. I think this is a perfect example. I don't have a problem with people's politics. I have problems with their tactics. Everyone wants to fight and win points and talk over each other. The fact is, you were both right on that last call. And I think a trivia question would really make it evident. What can you name a place?
He was right about the fact that we don't have asylum laws and that he was confusing asylum with refugee status.
So I'd like to ask you a trivia question. Is there the point you said that's relevant? Or
No,
germane
I
was
just
to
want a
ask
yes
the
or no to this one
American
real
land,
quick.
right?
I just want this yes
Well,
or no to
please.
this one real quick.
Let's have a conversation.
Was he
Let's have a
right
conversation.
about, no, I
Um,
seriously want a yes or no to this
He
one
was right.
real
Yeah,
quick.
he was right. You were both right. Here's what's funny. You're both right.
Oh, what
You
was he
said,
right
no,
about
you
when
have
it comes
be
to
on
asylum
American.
and refugee status
Let's
that
have a
he was
conversation.
confusing the two?
So
Well, no,
he
if you're going
said
to say that he
what
was
you
right, then
read
you're going to
from
explain
the
to me exactly what
law.
he was right.
I said you're both right. I said you're both right. See, this is the problem. These are the tactics. Let's try to.
I
get
mean,
some
I know
understanding
what I was right
instead
about,
of
and you can,
arguing.
if you want to tell me what I was wrong about, that's cool too. But let's start with what he was right about.
Well, I think you hinged your logical argument on you have from the law, which is true. You have to be on American soil, but there is American soil outside of the contiguous U.S. Actually, outside the entire U.S.
Yeah, I read the whole first
all
paragraph of
embassies.
8 U.S. Code 1158,
Yeah,
and it describes
right.
everything.
All U.S.
Yeah.
embassies are in fact American territory. Any
Oh,
country's
cool.
embassy
Add that
is
caveat to the law then.
land
Again,
of that.
he still
So if
wasn't.
you show up at an embassy, you can file for asylum. That's how it's supposed to work.
Oh, let's read this again, right? Because I still have this open. So let's try this again. Any person who is physically present in the United States, not just on U.S.
Right.
soil, because that's the distinction, right? In versus on. Okay.
No,
Any president
that's
who is
how they can
physically,
file for
no, it's okay,
asylum.
Pookie. Yeah. Any alien who is physically present in the United States or who arrives in the United States, whether or not at a designated port of arrival, right? This is leaving no wiggle room, right? This is specifically saying, when it comes to asylum, whether or not at a designated port of arrival, it's very clear in its language that is referring to being present in the continental US or in Alaska or in Hawaii. You have to be physically present in one of our states or territories, not at an embassy. Once again,
I see. This is where I talk to
you are
Republicans more
confusing
than Democrats.
refugee.
Because
You are
Republicans
confusing.
don't
You are
argue like
confusing
this. They use
refugee.
logic.
You are confusing refugees with asylees. Refugees, you can apply at an embassy. Asylums are very specific within the law.
So, okay. We're not going to agree on that point, it would appear.
No, because you don't know how
But
to read legal text.
I think it makes the bigger point. I think that the fact is you're hung up on trying to win every point instead of learning and trying to find cooperation. That's where our
No,
country is.
you're telling me that he was right when he was confusing asylum status with refugee status, and you're doing the exact same thing because you don't know the difference between these programs. So no, I can't agree with somebody on things that are factually untrue.
Okay. I think the broader, actually, it was an interesting point. What did you say, $87,000 or $78,000 to deport someone?
On average, $78,000 per person, according to the Penn Wharton budget model.
So I would offset that against the utilization of public resources. And the problem is we have
And
made the
how much do
bad
they
guy
use?
out of these
Tell me
people
what
who have
public
come
hold
across
on.
the
What public
world.
hold on. What public resources do they use and how much have they used?
Oh, New York is probably the shining example, putting
Those are
people up
legal
in five-star
immigrants?
hotels
Those are
with
legal
meals.
immigrants? Those are legal immigrants?
I don't think that's true. Is that
It is
true?
actually, yes, because the only way that a state can request reimbursement from the federal government is if it's people with legal status. There's actually 2 laws from 1996 that have never been overturned, that have never been modified or updated to revoke this part of the law of the legal text, specifically the PRWORA of 1996, that explicitly states
guess
that
the
no
question
state can
then,
request reimbursement for any state dollars spent on any immigrants if they are undocumented. They have to be lawfully present within the United States of America in order to request any type of federal reimbursement for the money that they spend. A state can spend out of their own personal coffers, their state coffers, on covering undocumented immigrants, but they can't get a single penny back in reimbursement at the state level for any money that they
so
chose
what's
to
the
spend
difference between
on
state
immigrants.
and federal tax dollars, though? From a realistic standpoint, what's the difference?
Sure,
Does it make a
states
difference
voted
for
on it.
taxpayers?
States voted on it.
Who voted on it?
The states did
The
specifically. I don't
voters,
know
the
if
taxpayers?
you do know what voting referendums are, correct?
I don't think voting referendums put cash cards and five-star hotels into the people that were bussed up from Texas to
Oh,
New
okay.
York City. And
Again, so
if
this
what you're
is this
saying
is
is these are all
funny.
legal
You're
migrants,
not
then I guess
MAGA.
what I
I
would
just want
ask
to be
is,
clear.
how do
He's
you
not
explain?
MAGA, yet
I,
he's
I would
buying
ask
into
you,
all of the GOP talking points that MAGA puts out, right? The
these
hotels
are
in New
talking
York
points. These
City,
are
the majority of them
news
were closed
footage,
down. They
and
were
even
not
your own
operable,
Democrat
right? So
politicians.
that's
Remember
not
the old
true. It
mayor
used
of
to be a 5-star
New York
hotel
City?
prior to 2021 when the hotel first closed down, but they weren't being housed in there until 2022 when the Roosevelt specifically was reopened in New York City for that. You don't know enough about this subject that you're speaking on. And when you bring up the EBT cards, they got $12.50 a day that they could only use at very specific locations for food. Okay?
I doubt very
$12.50
seriously
per day.
the
They didn't get thousands. And that
verisimilitude
card
of
also had a
your
cap.
of
If it
your
reached
of what you're
if it
saying,
reached a
and I
total
wish that
balance
I
of
could
$3,000,
respond
it
to
got
you,
not even a single
but you
penny
don't seem to
more
enjoy
put on the card.
conversation as much
You
as
are
a
living
monologue.
and breathing in the GOP talking points.
No, I'm sorry, my dear.
Okay, fine, prove it.
Your own Democrat
Prove
governor
it.
of New York
Prove it. I'm not a
was
Democrat
complaining about
and I'm
it.
not in New York. Prove it.
Okay. Well, the
No, actually,
Democrat
I
governor of New York
can help
was
you out with this. Eric Adams was complaining about the fact that Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis bust immigrants with lawful legal status to the city of New York City, and that by legal statute, he was required to provide them with housing because they were bussed in the middle of winter, and you couldn't have people dying on the streets of New York City because
so
that's not a good look. He even attempted to sue.
so is that a
He even
better
attempted
look
to
than
sue
millions dying on
Texas.
the
It
Texas
failed
border?
because states can't sue each other. That's not how any of this works, right? But he even
I think
attempted
the
to sue
problem you
because that was the
have is
point.
you have
All
to
right?
take a step
You
back.
are
I think you're
literally
too
living and
involved.
breathing in the GOP talking
Reality.
points
I know.
that
It's
you have
uncomfortable.
had 4 years to take the time and look something up. And not once in the last 4 years have you utilized your eyes, your reading eyes, your listening ears, your thumbs to type something up on any kind of Google machine or even DuckDuckGo for you to research something and find out if it was true or not. You heard it, I don't know from where, and then you
You're
drank it
pedantic and
all in.
imperious,
And you
and
are
that is
still
why
right now
people
too
don't want
busy
to listen
talking
to you
and
or follow
whatever
your
you're talking
politics.
about, I don't care, right?
Because you
You're
guys are
too
such
busy talking to
unpleasant,
even listen to
unhappy,
what I am
pedantic
saying,
people.
right? Eric Adams was
You've
very
been motoring
specific
on
on
for the
why he
last
was
2
upset,
minutes.
right? Because he didn't take the time to get and change the city ordinances or to lobby members in the state legislature to change the laws of New York to make it so that they didn't have to front out money in order to take care of immigrants that were quite literally shipped to them. Greg Abbott bragged about
So was
the
it
fact that
more
he
fair
bused
to
migrants
leave the
to
responsibility on Texas
sanctuary
then?
cities,
I'm sure
which
it's
you
a
guys
real
don't
thing.
even know
Should
what a
should they have
sanctuary
stayed in
city
Texas?
is at all, right? Because
Should they have
you
stayed in
specifically,
Texas?
Ryder, you're not here to learn, and I can tell that already, right? I'm not sure why
Not here to
exactly what you're here
Oh my
for,
gosh.
but you're not here to learn. You're not here to listen.
Projection.
You're not here to have a
Oh,
conversation.
the
You haven't
projection is
engaged
strong
honestly
in this
even
one.
once. You're literally spewing GOP talking points, okay? But the
Oh my
fact of the
God.
matter is that every
We
single
really
immigrant
have
that
no
was
way
sent
back
to New
to
York
peace,
City
do
was a
we?
legal
This
immigrant.
really is
Because
the end of our
why
country.
on earth,
Oh,
riddle me this, chat, riddle me this. Why on earth is Greg Abbott not in jail then for trafficking immigrants, undocumented immigrants across the country? Why on earth
I think
is
that's
Greg
brilliant.
Abbott
I think
not
that's a
being
brilliant point,
prosecuted
honestly.
for
I
sending
would, here's
immigrants
the deal
from
though.
his state that he got
Can I
federal
can I
money for
can I make a
and
point?
kept?
Can I
And
make a point?
kept, mind you.
I think you're
Why
right.
is
I think
he
I think
not
the
in jail
approach
or
of
on
hunting down.
trial for the fact that
Am I
he
still on?
knowingly moved undocumented
This is what
immigrants
you do when
from
you don't
one
have any good
state
arguments. You
to
just keep
another?
talking.
Wow. Wow. That would that fall under aiding and abetting? Kind of. I think it might. It
So
doesn't
this is
necessarily fall
huge.
under human trafficking,
Can
right?
you hear me?
And of course, Ron DeSantis is also culpable for doing the
So
exact same thing. They're known for having done that.
I
And
I think
it's
you might like
funny
this. I
that
think the strategy
a lot of
on
them
the
even had
illegals
ankle
has been
monitors on
wrong.
them
Can I
because they
tell you what
wanted
I
to make sure
think
that
the
they would
better
show up to
strategy
their
on the
court date
illegal
next.
issue is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you interested in that?
Because that's how all works. And Longmont, he doesn't care. Like Monty, he doesn't care.
Are you
Again,
talking?
like Greg Abbott is not in jail, nor is he standing trial for the fact that he would have knowingly sent undocumented
You're exactly right.
illegal immigrants
That's the
from
strategy
one
we should
state
have
to
taken
another.
on the Democrats who created the entire network. We shouldn't be punishing the people who were enticed
I
to
wonder
come
why
to the
that is.
country. We should be
If they were
punishing the
truly,
people who
truly,
brought
truly,
them
truly
here.
moved and they didn't have legal status at in any point in time, why is it? I wonder why. Wow. Yeah, that is also
I think
true.
we
I
all
like
might
this
turn
comment.
out.
So the cops caught a criminal in a different state and transported him back to his state, human trafficking. No, that's not what we're saying. But yeah, it's like,
Did you turn my mic off?
Can you tell me why Greg Abbott's not on trial? If they were all undocumented
No,
immigrants,
I
why is Greg Abbott not on
I
trial
think
for
you
knowingly
got the
moving?
right theory.
Oh, I've got the right
I
theory
think
now.
that's the
Got
right
it.
theory.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you can
So
hear me. Wonderful.
then you would
That
have
is
to
the right
concede
theory. I
now.
think the
Then you would
fact
have to
is,
concede now.
can,
Then you would have to concede
can I make
now.
a point now?
No, because
Can
you
I
said I
make a
have the
point?
right theory.
No.
No. No, you can answer
Yeah.
this directly.
Well,
You
let's
can
talk about that.
concede. You can
What is
concede
that
that
theory?
you must have been wrong that
Yes.
they were
No, I
undocumented
wasn't wrong.
immigrants.
Oh, it could be. To be honest, you probably have better grasp of that than do I. Here's what
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean, you've
say.
had 3
I
years
think
to
the
research
fact
this
is,
and you've used 0
can I
days.
make a statement?
You've
Can I
had
make
3
a
years to
statement here?
research this and you've taken 0 days to do so.
So I think the biggest mistake made is essentially we're victimizing these illegal aliens that have arrived here. They were enticed to come to our country. They were promised gold and rainbows, and it ain't working out that great. And the fact of the matter is the people we should have gone after is not the illegals. We should have gone after the people that created the system to import them in and fly them into the interior.
They're
and
not
distribute
being
them around the
imported.
country. I think
I
that
told the last guy to not or 2 people ago to not use the word importation. We don't import people into the United States of America since we ended the transatlantic slave trade. Please stop saying it.
That's
It's
not
gross
true.
terminology.
Actually, when we charter planes, private planes, and fly illegal aliens from outside the U.S. to the interior of the U.S., that's importing people. And I'm sure you're aware of that. But my point is,
importing
it was a horrible look to try to deport.
They're not
They're
illegal
not
immigrants,
victims.
sir. If the United States government, for some reason, is paying for someone's flight to enter the United States and they're an immigrant, They're not illegals. It's very similar to the refugees. They're not. They're not. They are not illegal. They have to have, wow, you are living and breathing right-wing talking points.
We're in agreement.
Holy shit.
This is a
They were
red star.
diplomats
So far,
under
we
a
got an agreement.
specific type of immigration program. You're not doing well here at all. You're not doing great.
The problem that you
They-
have is, again, like you
They
said,
weren't
you're just doing
imported.
semantics. If you
They
had changed
applied
the
for a
definition of the
program.
word, then you can do whatever
They
you
were
want.
approved
What's the
for the
woman?
program, and then they were brought here under that program. Not illegal.
Completely inaccurate, and I think you need to
Cool.
spend some
Provide
more
a
time on
source.
the interwebs.
Provide a source. I know
There's
you've never read
footage
anything. Provide a source.
Readily available.
Provide a source. Nope, this is
readily
not it.
available footage
So you've
of
never heard of the, I just
illegally,
want to be clear, you've never
brought-
heard of the CHNV parole program.
Correct.
Yeah, never heard of it,
Don't
right?
care. Once again. So here's the
Gotcha.
deal.
Yeah,
If I
you
were-
don't care because you don't care about facts. You don't care about facts. That's the whole program. It's a humanitarian parole program because so you don't even know the basics of immigration, yet you are screaming to the wind about something that you have zero knowledge on. It's actually quite
No.
insane for someone to say, I don't know about it and I don't care at the same time while saying that we are importing people because you have chosen to take 0 days to research anything. They are not illegal. They were previously vetted and then allowed into the country. They were vetted and then brought into the United States under a very specific parole program, which is legal immigrant status.
This is true.
Parole is another form of legal immigration. I know facts hurt your feelings. Like, I don't. Exactly. Thank you, Mia. Yes, we'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can do $50, raise it, we will drop the collar.
Which is the system
Okay.
should not have been set up. And if you want
Yeah.
to have it in prison,
Dude,
I'm good, but guess what? The rest of the
You
gang on the
have
feds
got
set
to
that
get
system
out
up. You
of
need to be
your
there as well.
right-wing talking point circles.
You should embrace more reality. 'Cause you
I
really
literally
get the
am.
Democrat
You
talking
just
point.
said you don't care about the
Really
programs that you've never heard of because you've never taken a single second to research anything in your entire life. You're like, look it
The
up.
problem
You're like,
you
I say,
have,
prove it. I
you
ask
know
you to prove
nothing about
something,
me.
and you just say, look it up yourself. And
about
guess
me.
what? I did. That's why I can provide you the name of the specific parole program that was
Sitting in
utilized
front of a book
and utilized to
spending your
bring
life
people in because
serving
they were
people are
approved
two very
legal
different
immigrants,
backgrounds.
and you can't accept being wrong, not even once.
No, it's because you read it in a book and believed it, but I've lived it. I've lived an actual life. I've seen actually what happens. I'm out on the streets. I was a paramedic. I know exactly how this
Apparently, guys, I'm not alive.
Yeah,
Today I
this is-
learned. That's it, guys. Let's close the show. I'm not alive, according to guests. I must never have lived. I haven't been breathing this air in any way, shape, or
We
form.
absolutely
You saw the
do not
planes as a
show any movement,
paramedic, guys.
that's
He
for
saw
sure.
the planes as a paramedic. That's it. End of story. That's it. We must believe everything that Ryder has ever seen in his entire life. He must be true. It must be true because he said it, because he's seen it. I seen it with my own eyes.
Pedantic. Look that up. You're the definition of the year. But the point
Technically,
is,
there
you're
was a
not
point where I was
interested in
being
conversation or
extremely
finding the
semantical.
truth.
You just don't know the difference between
you're
pedantics and
interested in doing is
semantics.
fighting.
Pedantic is how you
That's all.
utilize
You're
words in
fighting.
English, while semantics is being very specific over definitions. I've actually been very specific over definitions. You're not doing great here.
Right. That the problem is people who have lived a life can hear and know that what I'm saying is true and what you're saying.
Hey, what's
is
an
a-
anecdote?
just a really
What's an
well-crafted
anecdote?
pile
What's
of
an
lies.
anecdote?
Oh, I have
Pookie, what's an
40,
anecdote?
35 years of anecdotes.
Pookie.
35 years of anecdotes.
Pookie, what's an anecdote? Define it.
Go
See,
to
I'm
the
gonna be
ER.
semantical
Go to
now.
the ER
What's an
and
anecdote?
see how
What's
many
an
illegal
anecdote?
aliens
Ooh,
are getting their
Pookie,
medical care
Pookie
back.
pie, Pookie pie.
No, that's a pretty
Wait,
good-
I'm sorry. You as an EMT asked people for their documentation status when you were transporting them?
Well, I've asked people for documentation status for
No, you
5 years.
specifically, no, hold on. I just want to be clear. You as an EMT asked people for their documentation status
Yes.
before
Give me your
transporting
ID
them.
so we can figure out where to send the bill. But yeah, in fact, we do. You do ID people. That's actually a part
You
of
ID them,
medicine.
yes.
ID
That's not what
patients.
I asked. Oh, do you see how we just moved the goalpost? I said documentation status.
Yeah, document. If they have a state of Oregon ID that says ID only, I can probably guess where they're coming from. If it's a driver's
Oh,
license, they're probably
wait. So you're telling me is you just looked at somebody's ID and you made an assumption?
Yes, people do that.
That's what it is. There we go.
Prejudice. This is interesting.
There's his
So
racism
this
and
is
his
actually
bigotry coming out to the
prejudice.
forefront.
No, it's
He
not
just looks
racism,
at
it's
whatever somebody, or maybe
prejudice.
this is classism actually. Hold on, we'll change this real quick. This is classism, right? He looks at what someone can afford when they go to a DMV, their local
Right.
DMV, and says, you only have an ID only. And so therefore I can assume where you're coming from, right? And so like what would you do if somebody didn't have an ID on them? Because not everybody carries their ID with them, or they're in a circumstance where they don't have their
I'm
ID.
not running from patient to patient trying to figure out if they're illegal, but you start.
No, you're
noticing.
just
I
making
think there's a lot of
assumptions
people
because you
that are
believe that you can judge every book
noticing.
by its cover. It's okay, I understand. What I'm asking you is what about patients that don't have a driver's license or an ID on them? Are you also assuming that they also must be an illegal immigrant?
It depends. If it's a car wreck, I assume they got knocked out of their pants because I'm competent and a grown up and I can use common sense. And you can call it racism or prejudice, whatever it is.
All I know is at the end of the
That's
day, it's
what
all
you
just
do.
common sense.
That's what you do.
That's
medicine.
what you
In
sound
medicine,
like.
it's all about forming.
All I know is at the end of the day, it's just common sense.
That's how real life works.
All I know is at the end of the day, it's just
You have
common
to
sense.
Notice patterns and move forward.
All I know is at the end of the day, it's just common sense.
That is actually pretty close to your IQ on thinking. You
No,
got a
it's
lot of
actually
scripts to
you.
read.
See, sir, this is funny. This is close to my IQ on thinking. Says a person who has never looked up anything, but he wants to talk about it and says that because he's seen it with his own two eyes, looked at somebody only having a state-issued ID that said for identification only, must mean that he can tell where they're coming from, right? He just assumes that it must be telling them where they're coming from, right? Not realizing that there are states like Oregon actually that do have programs that allow you to have an ID, a driver's license, while being an undocumented immigrant. There are states like that that exist, right? So like California, for example. But my IQ is the fact that I actually research my information and I know about things that he's never heard of. He didn't know what the difference between asylum and refugee status was. He doesn't realize what the difference is between in the United States versus at an embassy and what that means. That is a distinction, right? And then doesn't know about the parolee program, but says that we're importing immigrants into the United States. Wow, this is so interesting. But I just want to be clear, guys. Someone that's actually done the research and has looked up things and digs and digs and digs and digs and digs until I find an answer has a low IQ compared to somebody that just says, I seen it with my own two eyes, so therefore it must be true. Got it.
I think the judgmentalism is off-putting, frankly.
Wait. The judgmentalism from the guy who said, I see somebody having a state-issued ID and says ID only, and so therefore they must be an undocumented immigrant.
No, it's a piece of evidence. That is a piece of evidence.
That's not a piece of evidence of anything. There are people that cannot legally drive, and so therefore they have a state-issued ID. There are people that should not drive, so therefore they have a state-issued ID. There are people that can't afford to have a car, so therefore they have a state-issued ID. But you are the one saying that because somebody has a state-issued ID, I know I can make a guess about where you're from because I seen it. I seen it. I seen it. So therefore, you must be an undocumented immigrant. Yeah. But, yeah. You're doing great. Yeah. You are doing so fantastic. Guys, I just want to point out, and I know this is just for you, doctor. Okay, this is just for you, my guy. So I'll make your day happy. Guys, if you haven't noticed that this lovely goal has not been touched even once, and I've been on live for an hour and 25 minutes, and we haven't really gotten much super chats or anything. So I really would appreciate if you guys can help me out. Oh, okay. Hold on. I hope you're gonna listen for a second. I know that's really difficult for you, but here we go. Dustin has something to say to you. Can you will you listen to what Dustin has to say to you?
You bet.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. All right. Dustin says, this guy is the exact person I would not want to be my medic. He's the exact definition of a male medic that would let people die. He's a piece of shit. Do you believe in capitalism? Do you agree with capitalism?
That's wonderful.
Do you like capitalism? Sorry, you're not answering my question. I have one more question for you, Ryder. This is a yes or no binary question. Do you like capitalism? Yes or no?
Well,
do you like capitalism?
I don't believe we do binary questions and answers. We got rid of the binary.
Okay. I don't believe in you. There we go. Well, Dustin paid for your removal, so that's capitalism, baby. Just so you know. Thank you so much, Dustin, for the 50. I do greatly appreciate that. It does help. Like, I just want to laugh at this person, right? Because it became somehow I'm low IQ to somebody that has never looked up anything in his entire life, thinks that he knows everything that was going on, right? Saying automatically that therefore somebody that only has a state-issued ID, they must be an undocumented immigrant because he won't look up anything. He still believes the lies that have been told about New York City, right? Hasn't had taken any time in the last 4 years to look up anything. Not a thing. Not a thing. Cool. Hey, Spunk. Hey, I'm gonna let you know. So I've closed off the phone lines because I've got 3 people already waiting. So I'm gonna here. It's not about being louder, right? I've been talking at the same voice tone the entire time, Spunk. I just get closer to my microphone so I come through louder because I'm also not lowering my voice when I get closer to the microphone. There is a distinct difference. I have not raised my voice even once. It's called I get this way, right? I move it closer. So I'm heard more over men who believe that it's their right and their job to talk over women while they're talking. Because he said he was here for a conversation but couldn't actually stay still with the conversation at any point in time, nor answer direct questions, Mr. I don't believe in binary questions. I don't believe in yes or no questions. Okay, bye. I don't believe in you. You don't exist either. So that's actually not the claim, though. And see, you're still wrong because I'm sure you don't even know what IQ stands for. Go ahead. I'll give you 5 minutes. Go ahead and Google it because I know you'll need to. You'll have to tell me what IQ actually measures and then how you even get to what that score is on an IQ test. I'm sure you know all of that, okay? Again, oh, look, you were screaming. I saw it. No, I got closer to my microphone. I got closer to my microphone. Do you know how that works? Do you know how that works? No? You don't? Yeah, I know, Mayo. It's okay, Spunky. I know I hurt your feelings. But hey, Spunky, the next time if you ever want me to address you again, I'm going to let you know something. Awesome. You can send a super chat because no one's paying attention to you anymore. All right. Hey, Jaybird, it's called matching energy. But next time, I'll also remind you, Jaybird, if you want to insult me, you have to pay me at least $10 for me to read your insults. So, Jaybird, you can go, shoo fly, don't bother me. Republicans can't see, hear, or smell Trump shit. No, they never could, Scott. Why would you even think that? These guys need to ask AI these questions. See, the only problem I have with that is you can jailbreak your AI, right? Your AI can change everything. Hey guys, I'll also help you out with this, okay? Here, I've got something else for you guys too. All you guys that are whining in the chat. Here. And this is going to be a voice from somebody that I know you guys love.
You're on my show, I'm not on yours. So I'm going to guide the conversation.
Ooh, I hope that helps. Wait, hold on. In case you didn't hear this, okay? This is somebody that I know you guys really like, okay?
You're on my show, I'm not on yours. So I'm going to guide the conversation.
I hope that helps. Truly, I hope that helps. Anywho, we'll go ahead and move on to Norm. Hopefully he has more than everyone else. I love it, Lenati. I do. Hi, Norm. How are you?
Hello. Excellent.
Awesome. And you're still supporting Donald Trump?
Absolutely.
Okay. What's he done so far to earn your continued support?
Oh, he's done a phenomenal job with Venezuela. He's with Iran that nobody's dealt with in the last 50 years. And now we're the most energy. Well, we have the most oil, and oil is number 2. So we now control number 1 oil producers in the world.
I just want to let you know, and I'm not trying to
We've
be
dealt
rude,
with
Norm.
Iran. I'm
Hey,
50 years
Norm.
old, so I kind of take it personally. Iran's been basically
Norm.
bullying the world for the
Norm.
last 50 years.
Norm.
A small
Hey,
percentage
Norm.
of Islamic extremists took.
Okay. So, Norm, I did have to mute you because I was trying to point out to you that your mic is breaking up. So I couldn't catch the first part of anything that you said. It was breaking up about every other word. So I would love to have a conversation with you. But in order for me to do that, I was trying to let you know that you were breaking up. And it was literally going Trump, oil, independent, years, Venezuela. It was going like that, right? So I'm going to bring you back off mute. I hope you've taken a breath to calm down. And let's take this one point at a time where hopefully your phone's not breaking up on you. Okay? So you're going to hear a beep. Let's try that again. What's your main reason why you still support Donald Trump? No words? I find it funny. So this is the great thing, right? Twitch and TikTok all agreed that he was breaking up, right? But YouTube is so hard pressed to be on every caller's side that they're like, I could hear him fine. Right? It's so funny. Patriot Mobile at its finest. Homie's cell tower is a potato and a hanger. Like, you guys are so hard pressed to be right over in YouTube that you're saying it's fine, but everyone else was saying that it was breaking up. Thank you for y'all having some sense. Hi, John. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay. And you had a question for me. What's your question?
Well, I guess, and I guess, excuse me, I have not watched much of you. Just seen you a couple times on, when I was scrolling and I had a few minutes and I figured I would call. I guess I was more for, the mass deportations. I was for, the U.S. economy doing better. I was for, I guess, what the core principles of what Trump ran on, but not necessarily the result that we got. And I was curious whether you were on the, people oppose Trump for different reasons. And I was curious whether you oppose Trump for more of, I guess, a progressive, Democrat, liberal perspective, or more of a, I don't know, more of an independent. And again, that might be on me for not watching your show.
I'm sorry, repeat your last question. Make it shorter. I missed part of it, and I know
Yeah.
I did.
No, I guess I'm just curious. You know, a lot of people oppose Trump for different reasons, and I wasn't sure if you oppose Trump from more of like a Democrat perspective or from my perspective as he hasn't done enough in keeping the promises that he ran on.
Okay. No, I believe that he's actively violating the articles and amendments of the United States Constitution.
Honestly, I wouldn't completely disagree. I guess my core premise comes from if you go back to what his campaign promises were, did you support his campaign promises or did you ideologically oppose them?
Which campaign promise are you referencing?
Mass deportations. I guess we could start there.
No,
That's, you know, instead of cutting it up, mass
no,
deportations, that would not be something you support.
no. It costs us more money.
Which, yeah, I would agree with. The social aspect of it, do you think that, you know, the social
What's the
aspect of
social aspect?
I would say that illegal and legal immigration has, you know, changed the country one way or another. I'm not going to necessarily say it was a negative economic impact, but I think that for natural born Americans, I think it has created, maybe it's, you know, somewhat media hype, but I think that it's created some kind of, we'll say, social, I guess, social issues, social turmoil between immigrants and natural born citizens, whether it be legal or illegal? Do you
What
think that there's
social
any
turmoil?
social, I would say, as far as, well, I mean, you know, if you look at this last election, you know, and even just your last caller, there's a lot of people that seem to have a negative connotation of anyone that has came here, you know, illegally for any reason, whether it be for asylum, whether it be for, um, you know, just to seek a better life, if you will. I guess, you know, my stance on it is that the American government has a right to protect and enforce the borders of our country from anyone who even would be a seeking asylum, regardless of their circumstances.
Yeah, no one's complaining that we shouldn't have strong borders. No one's saying that we should have open borders. Well, there might be some people, but there's no one in Congress
Yeah,
or
no.
even in
I'm just asking
the
you.
legislative body,
No,
the
no, it's
executive body, or the judicial bodies that are saying we should have open borders. I don't even say that we should have open borders, but I believe that our laws need to be updated so that our processes take a shorter amount of time. Right now, they take
what
way too long. But I am in
what
support
would
of immigration.
what would be your policy on people that came to the border without documentation?
That were what?
What would you support as a presidential candidate? So if someone were running for president right now and they had showed up at the southern border, you know, without any documentation at all and were hoping to enter or gain entrance into the United States, would you support
Are
someone
they just
that,
asking to come
you
in
know,
willy-nilly? Because if they don't have documentation, we can't vet them, then no, they're not allowed in. But if they are here
okay,
claiming
yeah, I
asylum,
think
that's different. That's a law that we have in place. And if they meet the minimum requirements to pass, they have a credible fear hearing, is what it is, then they are allowed into the country because that's our law. If you have a problem with
I think that
asylum, you have
that's
to change the law.
yeah, I think that that's a completely reasonable stance. Again, I
Yeah.
apologize. I haven't watched you a whole lot. I'm just more of wanting to have a good faith conversation of what your morals and values are, what you kind of hold important to you as far as politics goes and policy goes. I guess I would ask you, as far as Middle East intervention, you know, again, this is probably where I differ from most conservatives at the most and most Republicans is I think that we have a huge problem of, you know, corruption in the military and military industrial. Wow, can't talk. Military industrial complex. You know, whether it be the neocons, I think it more has to do with APAC and you know the money that's being spent from the Israel lobby. Would you have a policy stance towards foreign aid and foreign aid to countries like Israel or you know Middle Eastern countries in general? again, as I know that you're not running for president, but as far as a presidential candidate that you would vote for.
Yeah. So I didn't agree with the dismantling of USAID, the soft power that we built up having USAID for the last 50 years, I believe it is in fact a great thing. Donald Trump has even utilized it to his benefit with having deporting immigrants to a non-country that they're from, non-country of origin, like Sudan. Well, he was able to obtain that because of the soft power that we accrued from things like USAID. So that significantly helped. I would be in support of bringing that back, probably at a smaller amount, but that's because I believe in humanity and I don't agree with the fact that we have so many people facing hunger across the entire world that was exacerbated not only by our dismantlement of USAID, but also by our illegal war campaign that was carried out on Iran. Like, so those two things together. As far as funding any country's military, absolutely not. I don't think that we should just be giving millions, thousands, or billions of dollars to any foreign government just because of their circumstances or their history, right? I think that it should be at a benefit for the United States in some way. Thank you, Refman. So, like, if they are purchasing a product from us, absolutely. If they are buying our military equipment, sure. We are the number one arms seller in the entire world. That is true.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think that we, may disagree on some things, but I think fundamentally, I'm very surprised. I guess I'll say from the content I've seen, you probably have just dealt with very horrible people like the last caller, not the one that was cutting out, but the one before that. I think there are people out there that are willing to have good faith conversations, and I guess that was the whole point of my call, was just to see where you stood on a few things. In all honesty, I'm not. I don't know if it said my age. I would not like to completely disclose that, but I did vote for Donald Trump in the last election. I was old enough to do so, and I thought that was something that was right at the time. And I'm more than willing to admit that I was wrong, that I made the wrong decision. And partially I'll say because of the social media influence, and the influence that social media had in the last election was extremely great. And it took an event like Charlie Kirk's death was kind of an eye opener for me, and maybe that the world isn't exactly as it was portrayed to me. And I won't say that I'm any sort of Democrat or align with any Democrat values, but I think that there's a lot of middle ground between maybe someone like me and someone like you that, I know you don't know me, but I've watched your show a handful of times here and there, and I don't think we've agreed on everything. And that was the reason for my call, was just to see where we landed. So I have no interest in, arguing with you about anything, because I think that fundamentally those are some of the biggest things in my book politically that would make a difference in our country. And I agree with you 100%. So.
Yeah, I just don't see, like, when it goes to mass deportation, I don't see the benefit of it. I believe that if we follow the status quo or what it had previously been, where we're specifically targeting people that have been convicted of a crime and then deporting them, right? Like, I disagree with some of my
Yeah.
friends on this too. Like, I
Yeah.
agree with them being housed in our jails until they serve out their time, because I don't know if they're going to serve out their time if we send them into another country.
Right.
And the families deserve justice. I have some friends that believe in they should be sent out as soon as they get that conviction. Hey, you know what? That's their opinion. I respect that.
You know,
But I actually think it would be more beneficial if we offered undocumented immigrants that have never been even accused of a crime except for violating 8 U.S. Code 1325 or 1326, offering them a pathway to citizenship by giving them amnesty.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think that where you and me could probably agree the most is there is just so much government corruption, whether you want to link it to, if you're religious, the devil, if you want to, link it to money, you want to, however you want to link it, there's so much government corruption and just nasty decisions made by people that are not not a part of the everyday population, or absolutely have no interest in what the everyday population wants. I think that if a lot of that was cleared up, I think you and I probably wouldn't have a whole lot of social or even really economic arguments against each other. I think it would be a whole different country to live in. But and I think that's the problem at the end of the day. I think there's a lot of just bad actors, whether you want to call them people that were bought, people that are possessed. Everyone has their own spin on it, but at the end of the day, they're just people that aren't acting in the best interests of the people that they represent.
Yeah, so the main thing, if that's what we need to worry about, then I don't know who would be campaigning on it in Ohio, for example. But we have people like Senator Ossoff re-campaigning to continue to hold his seat. That is
Yep.
specifically campaigning on overturning Citizens United. Citizens United allowed corporations and large money donors to continue to donate and lobby to people through their donations. And I think
Yeah.
that's part of the issue, right? And then we have where SCOTUS in 2023 or 2024, where they made it legal for someone to give them a bribe if it's after their ruling, because then it's not a bribe, it's like a gift, right? So even SCOTUS has made it so that they can be influenced on the decisions that they make when it comes to their case rulings. And they don't even, by the way, they don't even have an ethics panel that oversees
Yeah.
SCOTUS.
No.
And that's a huge problem. But my main thing is going to be Citizens United needs to be overturned. And then if we truly want someone other than like the two-party system, right? We need to change the FEC rules. We need to change the presidential debate rules in order to allow for third-party candidates to actually have a choice. But until we overturn Citizens United, change the FEC rules, and change the presidential debate rules, we're never going to see a third candidate be a viable option.
Yeah.
I would also advocate for
So
changing the electoral college system at the state level.
I might have. Sorry to interrupt you. If you're not
You're okay.
done, please continue.
No, go ahead.
I have a good faith question for you, and it's only because of what you just said. I have done, I try to do my research across the board, and I have heard extensively from, and again, I know this is controversial, or this person is controversial, but I've heard from Nick Fuentes over and over, and I've seen the clips of, him saying not exactly what you're saying, but something very similar in the sense that, the GOP is broken. The Democrat Party is not necessarily something he aligns with, and that there has to be a way for some kind of third party candidate to emerge. And although I don't agree with the Democrat values, the person that's running against Vivek Ramaswamy, and again, how little I know about her is the fact that I don't even know her name. But she's running against him in the 2026 primary. Again, in your opinion, and again, just in good faith, I'm asking this: would you say that it's a viable option to vote against the GOP just simply for almost vengeance and creating the possibility where the Trump administration is held accountable for their action, is held accountable? Because, again, if other people were to do this throughout the country, I'm not saying, Nick Fuentes has reached everybody, but there's going to be a left shift due to what Trump has done over the last, since he's got elected. It's been a nightmare. Everyone's seen it, everyone in the entire country. And, the crazy people you have calling your show, I have no idea where they're, they might just be trolls. I have no idea. But, the real people that I talk to in the real world are quite upset, and they're, some of them feel completely rug pulled, if you will. Some of them feel that, Trump is just a nasty, disgusting human being and always has been. And, half the country was duped, or 60% of the country was duped. There's a difference in opinion. I'm just curious to go back to my question. To ask a good faith question.
Yeah, so
What do
I
you think about
personally,
that?
that one's hard for me. So some people are saying yes in the chat that that's absolutely a reason to vote for them, but me personally, no. I wouldn't just vote on the assumption that someone's going to move against Donald Trump. I'm going to vote against, more than likely, I'll be voting against policies that I don't agree with, right?
Right,
So, for
correct. You're
example,
right.
I'm in a very red area in my state where the Democratic candidate more than likely isn't going to win. Just hands down. I would be shocked if they won, right? Um, but I know what the policies are between both candidates, and I can actually get behind the candidate that's running here and say, oh, they want to actually try to push to get more funding from the VA to build more hospitals specifically for veterans across the country. I'm for that. The candidates, the Republican candidate's not running for that, right? As far as specifically Vivek, I didn't like the majority of the things that he said during the presidential debates. They don't sit right with me. And so I personally can never vote for Vivek because I don't agree with the things that he's saying, even when he was running for president in 2024, 2023.
So I have a question for you that, again, another good faith question on personal advice for me. Okay. Being that I am in Ohio,
Mhm.
if I sit out of this primary election and, again, I doubt it, but if my age group, the younger age group, sits out in almost a defiance, or we cannot accept the Democrat policies, but at the same time, Vivek Ramaswamy is very closely tied to JD Vance, which you can only imagine he's tied to Peter Thiel. He's only, Anduril is going to be here 100%, probably with or without him eventually, but with him it's going to be a lot easier. There are going to be things that happen within our state that he will directly help with. And I think that him getting elected will give him some sort of, if the Republicans are to win in 2028, someone like Marco Rubio or JD Vance, God forbid, it is someone like them that wins, he's going to be in the White House. He's going to be just like JD Vance, plucked from Ohio, whether he's a governor or senator or, whatever it might be, again, I guess that's my question is, do you sit out or do you vote for some of the policies that you disagree with almost for the greater good?
I
Not that my
encourage
vote is
everybody
going to
to
be
vote.
not that my vote's going to tilt the scales one way or another, but, I guess you could see maybe I'm laying out my predicament for you.
I encourage everyone to get out and vote. That's the biggest thing. Like, um, I, the primary's already passed for Ohio, I believe.
I don't believe so. No, I believe
I
it's
think it
September.
did.
September or
Maybe
August.
just the
It's August. Should
Ohio
be August. Well, I mean, the primary candidate has been selected, but I can vote for the Democrat or Republican.
Okay,
That has
yeah.
not been
That's what I
decided.
thought. I was gonna say, I
I
thought
believe
the
it's August.
primary was already like set and that Vivek had
No,
won the gubernatorial candidacy.
no. Well, he's the primary candidate, but there, unfortunately, the candidate that was running against him there was no chance he was going to win. There's no, even if I
Oh
had
yeah, it
voted
happened on
for
May
him as the
5th.
primary, which I did, Casey Push was not going to win.
Yeah. It was yeah, no, it was
So again,
on May 5th.
it's a
So
predicament. It's a predicament. I want to get out and vote. I agree with you, right? But who do you vote for? Do you vote for? And again, it's a
do you
good faith
agree
question.
with
I'm not.
increasing the voting age from 18 to 25?
Say it one more time.
Do you
Sorry.
agree with increasing the voting age from 18 to 25?
No.
Okay, well, that's what Vivek Ramaswamy campaigned
Oh
on
yeah.
in
No.
2023, 2024.
I'm well against him. That's what I've said. I just have said, again, with your prior point of, you wouldn't want to vote against someone that you didn't, or you wouldn't want to vote with someone you didn't agree with their policies.
No,
I
I
guess
said I would
again, my
absolutely
question is,
vote
in my
against
case,
policies. No, I would absolutely
yeah,
vote against policies. So, like, in the case of, let's look at 2016 with, thank you, Ref, Hillary Clinton and Donald J. Trump. When I went and voted and I had a choice between Clinton, Trump, or a third party candidate, I went with Hillary Clinton, even though I didn't agree with her, but I was voting
Right.
against Donald Trump's policies. So I
Right.
will absolutely do that. To me, that's not vengeance, right? You brought up the word vengeance, but that's not what I'm looking for. So if there's something that Vivek Ramaswamy is standing for that you disagree with, so for example, increasing the voting age from 18 to 25, that should automatically be a stand like a no, right? And I would
Yeah.
personally, if I was in Ohio, yeah, I would get out and vote, and I would have no problem voting for Amy Acton, knowing that it was against a policy. Vivek was running on a policy that I didn't like.
That's fair enough. And that's, that, I mean, that answers my question. That's really, I guess that's really what it came down to, because it's more than one thing with Vivek that I'd be voting against.
Yeah, it was just one
In
thing.
my mind, JD Vance is a direct puppet and propped up by Peter Thiel, and Peter Thiel does not have the best interests of the United States at heart, and I don't know that he ever will. And with Vivek being as close with JD Vance, you can only imagine that, I haven't researched where he got his money for his companies at, but, I could only imagine it came from a venture capital firm that was either friendly with Peter Thiel or was owned by Peter Thiel. So,
Yeah,
I have no interest in putting someone
Peter,
like that further in power.
yeah, Peter Thiel's ready to escape the entire country. He bought an entire house in Argentina. So,
Why wouldn't he?
yeah, he's ready
what
to
does he have
escape
to
the
lose?
country. So
Yeah.
he doesn't even
He
want
has
to stay
nothing to
in the
hide.
country that he's molding, right? We can say it that way, molding in a weird way.
That he's contributed to destroying. I'm an
Yeah.
anonymous caller. I can say that.
Yep, that's totally fine.
Well,
It's not going to hurt my feelings.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
again, I appreciate it. I think that it's a very good faith conversation. I really didn't have the intent to argue with you, more just hear you out
Nope,
and
you're good.
see if maybe you could change my mind on a few things. So appreciate you taking my call.
Yeah, no, see, I prefer to have calm conversations. What it is I match energy. And so
Yeah.
you stayed calm the entire time, and no one was
You
crying in the chats. Isn't that
you
interesting?
do have a show, so you better take a crying caller next.
Oh, no,
You
you're
gotta keep
actually
the
my
people
last caller.
interested. Yeah. Well, enjoy the rest of your night. Again, I appreciate your time.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and close this out. And, yep. Okay, guys. All right. TikTok, we missed the like goal. We should have hit this 200,000 likes a couple minutes ago. Because we always should be hitting 100,000 every hour. And I know people leave when there's a calm caller. Algae, just a friendly reminder, guys. Hold on. This isn't relevant for the moment, but this can be relevant for the next live. Not tomorrow. Well, actually, yeah, it still counts for tomorrow. But where is it? Here. Just a friendly reminder, guys.
Do you want someone muted from the chat? Maybe they're spamming, annoying, displaying bot behavior, or maybe they're just a dumb bitch. Well, you can mute them for as little as $5 a day, $20 a week, or $50 a month. Pay links are in the bio.
Just a friendly reminder, you guys always have that option that if someone's annoying you in the chat, that does contribute to this goal. Sorry, it's up here on portrait and then down here on landscape. And it's helping me pay for my upcoming vet bills for Safari. But yeah, I have a couple of things to read real quick. These people are dumb AF. Love your videos, Ari. Thank you so much, Iris. I appreciate that. Mag crashing out about being dumber than a woman. May, that's hilarious. Thank you. Thank you, Random, for the jewels. Thank you, Tammin, for the jewels. Moose says, from a non-American point of view, the college vote no longer has a function in America. Once America hits a certain population point, it should have been replaced/removed as it isn't representative. Even if we take it that far, like the way Congress is set up originally through the Constitution, right? The original proportionment was 30,000 people per representative, right? So that's how that works. 50 a month. What's the percent savings for an annual Oh goodness. Hold on. I can do that math. If you really want stickers, if you really want that amount, I will do this real quick. Okay. And then I want to do. Okay. That's a lot. I'll do an annual mute for $450. That's a lot of money. Just putting that out. That saves you $150 off the monthly price. Report me, cry about it. What would you report me for? I haven't done anything, so that's funny. MAG is a cult. The way they can change their views 180 degrees, no problem, is concerning. It's specifically about things that revolve around Donald Trump is what they change them on every single time. So, yeah, that's very true, Crisis. But guys, thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate all of your times and that you chose to spend your evening with me. Let's see if I can see who might be. When I have people on. All right, let's see. Yeah, we can send everybody there. If you guys are watching over on YouTube, you're about to be redirected. If you guys are watching over on TikTok, if you guys want to start filtering out, go ahead and go raid Hector. Most of y'all should already know him. If you don't, then I don't. What are you doing? Like, you should know him. All right, that one's set up. And I will be on live tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Jimmy Snow and the Line over on YouTube. And of course, I'll be on live on my own channels on TikTok and on Twitch. So check me out there. See you later.